Hi, I'm Gordon Bobbin. Just another video demonstration showing some of the capabilities of Google Sites. In this case though, looking at how you can use Google Sites within your school, but not in the classroom. This is more for the faculty and for the staff to use. So this site here that you're looking at, this is what we call the HSIE staff portal. This is a website that only the HSIE staff would have access to, and of course the school executive and a few other key people at the school, like the e-learning coordinator, for example. But otherwise, it's just for the HSIE staff, and for obvious reasons that you'll see as we go, because of privacy and security and confidentiality. But it's a great tool, Google Sites, for this purpose. Because of the many things that you can bring together, and for compliance reasons as well, as a way of having all your compliance documents and evidence all together in the one place. Also just from a management perspective as well, for me to be able to manage what's going on in my faculty, and also for the teachers themselves, just to have a central place where they can get everything they need to get in order to do their job, and also to upload and to put everything that they need in terms of marks and student samples and things like that. So I'll just show you some of the primary or the key functions of the portal. First, you can see here there's an announcements section where I might post things for the teachers that need to know how to do certain things. On the other side is a calendar that's been embedded, so that it's continually updating with key events that might be coming up in the near future, so people can keep on top of things. You'll see down the bottom here too, the Board of Studies recent news automatically gets posted up there as well. And then along the top you've got some of the other pages where teachers may need to go. So here every subject has its own specific page, one for each of the juniors and one for each of the seniors. And I'll show you an example of those in a moment. But some of the other key things, like announcements, it's pretty straightforward. But things like meetings, for example, whenever we have a faculty meeting, the agenda and the minutes go straight up here. So just an example to show you how that would look. So this was one of the meetings we had back in August, and as you would normally do with a meeting, you'd have your agenda items. In this case, we have the calendar items first, and all the different agenda items you can see there, so that you can quickly click and get to one of those that you may want to. But the other real advantage of putting the meeting agenda up on a Google site is something like this, where there was a document that I wanted the staff to look at as part of our meeting. We're looking at our recent compliance check and the feedback that we got from our executive on how we did. So this was great. I could just embed the document here, and everyone could see it and have access to it. There was another one after that too, in relation to the grading process that we needed to discuss around Year 10 and Year 11 grading. So again, just being able to embed the actual document within the meeting agenda. It's just great because it just has everything in the one spot. And then you had other agenda items, and the other great thing you'll find at the bottom, which I would include at the bottom of every meeting post or page, is the minutes. So the minutes are just done in a Google Doc, so they're embedded there, and that way whoever it is that's taking the minutes for the meeting types them in, and it's automatically shows there at the bottom of the page. And any staff member who may need to go back to check what was said or what happened in this meeting, or if there was a staff member who was away, they can very easily go through the agenda, go through the minutes. Everything they need is all here in that one spot. So that's looking at how the meetings works. Some of the other good things that you're able to include on the site, things like timetables. So teachers need to quickly track down another teacher or a student. They can just click there, and they've got access to each of the different timetables, room timetables, staff, student, etc. So that's purely there just for ease, so they can get to that quickly. There's also a subscriptions page where I'm able to post all the different resources that we subscribe to in HSIE. So it's just a way of storing all those resources. So the different economics, business studies updates, commerce, economics updates, legal studies assist, thinking history, all these PDFs that I get emailed. I just automatically post them up here. The staff receive an email alerting them that a new resource has been updated. And again, just keeps everything nice and centrally located. Teachers know where to go to find them, and they're all kept in the one spot. And I suppose one of the last good things here is this page we've got here, which is HSIE PD. So just any things that the staff may need to look at in terms of PD, which this year, of course, has been very heavily Google orientated, as you would expect. So little instructions about how to use Google Sites, Google Drive, Google Apps. We just post them up there, and all the staff can go back and look at those and use those as part of their professional development. But look, the real key with this, as I alluded to earlier, is the actual subject pages. So for each class and each subject, there is a specific page, and I'll show you what those look like. So here we have Year 7 History. So the Year 7 History page, and every subject page is set up pretty much the same way. When you go to that page, the first thing you see is an outline of the course, so the teachers can see exactly what the topic sequence is and when they should be teaching things. And in this case here, they've also got the assessment schedule, so they can keep on top of all that. And then on the left, you'll see links here to the other important things they need to do. So assessment tasks, for example, would get uploaded there. Also past exams and tasks from previous years are stored in there, so they can look at what previous tasks have been. Very handy having the program and the scope and sequence here as well, so they can easily access that for their teaching. Registers are all online using Google Forms, so they can complete those as they go. Resources, so the link there to a folder where all the resources are kept on Google Drive. And lastly, there's a page there where they can upload student samples, so for each of the assessment tasks that they scan copies of, and that's all for compliance, of course. There's a central place where they can upload each of those. And with each subject too, there's also a link to the student page. So if they need to go to the student page for whatever reason, maybe to post a notification or to post an assessment task or just an announcement, there's an easy, quick link to that there. So that's the junior page. The senior page doesn't look too different. Again, you've got outline of the course. In this case, it's got the assessment grid. And all those same functions, as you saw previously, are all here. So the assessment tasks for this subject, past tasks, the program, the scope and sequence, the registers, the resources, and the student samples where they can be uploaded. And so you have this same page format for each of the subjects. And just to show you a couple of those features, so the assessment task page, for example, is just a storage page like this. So the assessment tasks are uploaded and they'll be kept there. And again, that's A, it's good for compliance reasons, and B, it's just good to have a central location where all these things are stored for future years. And the other, I suppose, main one is the program and the scope and sequence page. So every subject has this page where the scope and sequence is there for them to follow and for them to check with all the outcomes. And there's links on the left hand side here to the specific programs for each of those units, and there's a link to the syllabus for each subject as well, should the teacher need to check the syllabus or look at something there. There's links all there for them to access. So look, I suppose at the end of the day, this is very useful for a number of reasons. Mostly, or for my purpose, for my sake, it's great for compliance. Like I said, it just keeps everything central. Everything's very well organised. I know my curriculum coordinator in particular loves it because come compliance time, it's very easy for him to show where everything is and see where everything is. But for the staff, it's very handy too, because it's very easy for them to access everything they need. They can very quickly get to the resources that they need for a specific subject, look at the program, look at the scope and sequence, click on the syllabus if they need to look at that. And at the same time, when it comes time for them to upload the assessment tasks they may have written or upload the samples of the student work for compliance, it's all there. It's very straightforward. It's all in the one place. So very, very user friendly, great for myself and great for the staff. And I suppose another benefit I should point out too, that the use of the Google Docs for the scope and sequence and for the programs. I mean, what this means coming into next year now, there's a lot less work involved in changing these, in the sense that this scope and sequence for legal studies, if I need to update that, well, I update it here on the Google Doc, and it will automatically now update on this website and everywhere else that it may be, in everyone else's Google Drive that may be teaching it. I don't have to, change the file and then upload the new edited version for 2014 and send the new version of 2014 out to the teachers and have them delete the old one. As you know, the great thing about Google Docs is it's all the one doc, and it's automatically updates wherever it may be in whatever person's folder, or in this case on whatever web page. So some of the other great advantages of Google Sites, how you can use them in your school for management purposes, for organisation purposes, and obviously the embedding of the Google Docs within that too. So hope you found that useful. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.